Royalty is not unusual in American music. In jazz, Count Basie and Duke Ellington reigned supreme. In the blues, Bessie Smith was a legendary empress. But in soul, a unique Afro-American blend of gospel passion and pop lyrics, there's been only one queen. Her name, Aretha Franklin.
In 1962, I was crowned the Queen of Soul. With respect to maintaining my title as the Queen of Soul, it's second nature to me. And I think just being myself, the rest will take care of itself.
Show me the way to get to Soulville, baby. Show me the way to go. The way to go. Show me the way to get to Soulville, baby. That's where I belong. Yeah.
It's soul. It's exactly soul. It's what it is. She's the Queen of Soul. And if I can't even describe it. All I can tell you is I can feel it. You know, it's just that deep. It's just right from there. Yeah.
You told me to leave you alone. My father said, come on home. My doctor said, take it easy. Oh, your loving is much too strong. I'm ready to
Her voice is one of the great natural instruments I've ever heard, and the way she uses it is just so instinctive and so beautiful. She knows exactly what she wants.
Hey, I want you to know. I want you to know because my love is yours. Darling, you send me.
She was like 5 years old. I mean, she could go to the piano and play nearly like she plays it now. None of the rest of us could do that. You know, none of the rest of us could just go sit down and play the piano and sing like that.
Aretha was raised in the church, and so was I. I guess your music, what's in your body, what's in your soul, or the way you came up, is somehow or another will come out through your fingers or come out through your vocal cords or whatever.
The church, certainly gospel are my roots, and it certainly served as a testing ground for me as a singer, as well as many other good things came from the church. And it's just a feeling that you get there that you don't get anywhere else.
Well, I started in the choir at my father's church, the Bethel Baptist Church. My father is a minister, and from the choir I became a soloist along with the choir. And I left the church at times to travel with my father, Reverend C.L. Franklin.
In the 1950s and 60s, Reverend Franklin was a mighty figure in Black America. He was a powerful member of the National Baptist Church a group whose 7 million members made it the largest black organization outside of Africa. But Reverend Franklin was more than a religious leader. He was one of the first ministers to have his sermons released on records and to host his own nationally broadcast radio show, through which he reached millions.
And you know, whatever your mental attitude is, has a lot to do with what you're going to be and how successful you are in your efforts.
Remember, in black society, the minister was bigger than the president. If I'm in New York and my sister died in Mississippi, okay, I have no place I can eat as I go down. I have no place I can sleep. So it was the Baptist minister here that would call Baptist ministers on the way down. And so that black Baptist church had a fantastic role in saving me from being dehumanized.
Aretha, born March 25, 1942, was the third of 4 children. Her mother Louise left the family when Aretha was only 6 and died when she was 10. Left to raise the family by himself, Reverend Franklin emerged as a constant source of strength and inspiration in Aretha's life.
He was a very liberal minister, which kept us in trouble because he knew all the performers in both realms, you know, pop, blues, gospel. And then during that time, during the 50s and all, that was unusual for a minister to have that kind of association outside of the church.
Because of Reverend Franklin's fame, stars from all branches of American music gravitated to his home. Sam Cooke, Clara Ward, and Jackie Wilson were just a few of the musicians who filled the Franklin house with their presence and their music.
Every time I think about my early childhood, it would be waking up to the sound of a stand-up bass or someone's guitar or the piano, and that might be the Oscar Peterson Trio, or that might be the Art Tatum group.
We would drag her out of bed and she'd go down there and play for the stars. And they, you know, considered her a star once they heard her.
Tell me!
I think that my dad felt that I was gifted or uniquely talented as a child, yes. He would coach me in different things. He would give me different records to listen to and to see if I could emulate them on the piano. Different vocalists to listen to, such as Clara Ward and Mahalia, other artists like that. We had services across the country. I would travel with my dad. I was about 14, 15. On the weekends I could go. And he would give me $50 each time. I would sing 1 or 2 songs, and it was quite exciting. I not only saw and heard and performed with the gospel greats, but I also saw other artists that were in the pop field that I liked and whose records I bought as a child and as a teenager. People like Fats Domino and Bobby Bland and many other artists that would be staying in the same hotel that we would be staying in. And so I had the opportunity to meet them as well.
Aretha, in most instances, would sing just before her father. Reverend Franklin, naturally being a minister, was the headliner most times. And then Aretha would do a solo just before the Reverend would do his sermon.
I gained a lot of experience on the road with him. Then I decided I wanted to change fields, so I let him know. And he felt if this was what I wanted to do, then this is what I should do.
If you want my loving, if you really do, don't be afraid, baby. Just ask me. You know I'm gonna give it to you. Oh, and I do declare, I wanna see you with it. Stretch out your arms, little boy, you're gonna get it. 'Cause I love you, baby, 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 I love you. There ain't no doubt about it, oh, baby, I love you. Baby, 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 I love you, I love you, I love you, baby, I love you. Oh, yeah.
I think there was some conflict in the church congregation concerning her crossing over. They felt to some degree that she was turning her back on either the church or on God by singing secular music. However, my father played quite an instrumental role in elevating the people's enlightenment.
Aretha was a restless young woman who'd had 2 children by the time she was 17 and had gotten married in her early 20s. Just as Aretha was maturing into womanhood, she sought new challenges as an artist. Over the objections of some churchgoers, Reverend Franklin arranged for her to record demo tapes of pop and jazz material in hopes of landing a recording contract.
We both liked Columbia. Columbia was a major and well-known label at the time. And so we went to New York. I began to live in the Big Apple.
Well, my first encounter with Aretha was listening on demo, to a demo record. But I heard this voice, and I said, my God, that's the greatest voice I've heard since Billie Holiday. And I signed it to Columbia, even though Sam Cooke was trying desperately to get her for RCA. And I made, I think, some very good records with Aretha at Columbia. And I wanted to keep us to a degree as a jazz singer. But Columbia wanted to make a big pop star out of her, which I thought would ruin her integrity.
When you went and left me there crying, look, if I was even colder than ice, it didn't bother you, I was crying, and now you want to break my heart twice. Is that why you got in touch with me? I guess you must be running out of booze.
While everybody around her meant well, I think that those who probably meant more than well are the ones who were the distractors. I think that I used to argue with her husband, Ted White. Not in front of her, but behind her back, I would argue with him, why can't you let her do what she wants to do? And the moment she was able to do it, the rest I mean, you know, she really became an international star at that point in time.
Aretha had terrible luck with men. That was one of the awful parts of it. And there'd be one, quote, husband after another handling her affairs, you know, and it was a mess. And also, they weren't picking the right material for her. Columbia was basically a white company.